What is up, everybody? Welcome back to our channel, Red Bull Coffee and Crime. It is your girl, Red Bull. It has been a long time since we have been here. We got coffee. Yeah, baby. You want to say hi? Say hi. Say hi.
Hi, Phoenix.
Garnet said hi. You said you wanted to say hi. How are you doing?
I am doing good.
Good.
It has been forever and a day.
It's been so long. Like I forgot how to do all this, and it doesn't help that I'm like on my deathbed. Um, sorry everybody if you cannot understand a word I say. I am super sick, but we just wanted to hop on here for a little bit and go over some things, also some ideas that we came up with. We can go over at the end to bring awareness, to help bring awareness to the Kyron's uh, case. Where do you want to start, baby? There's so much. There's so much. You guys, we've gone over this before, like, but it's just an ongoing situation. Hold on. Um, so it sounds crazy because it is crazy. Like, it's just like unbelievable, and it's an ongoing thing. And we're still okay, we're still going through it. I don't know. It's a
it,
lot.
it is a lot, and it doesn't stop.
And
Um, I shared a thing from a farm that was it was put out in the very early that Dee Dee worked at that farm instead of West Wind where she was working.
mm-hmm.
And at the
Sure.
end of the article,
I'll
you
show it.
know,
Hold on. You can keep going. I was gonna show everybody what you're talking about.
at the end of the article, and I don't know word for word because I am not looking at it. That's why I was sort of waiting for you to pull it up. Because at the end of the article, she says, be careful what you're doing in this case because, you're doxing people and you're putting personal information out there. And that was just, weeks after he went missing. And that is still happening today, every day.
See, I didn't even read all of it, but I knew that they were talking about the wrong
Yeah,
farm.
right,
So
right. And how, well, the lady actually posted because it affected her family. And,
exactly.
they had people reaching out to them, and some of them were not friendly. And it's really sad. This is a missing child. Not, I don't understand.
Oops. So this is what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, yeah. And you don't have to read the whole thing, but like I said, the very last page of that.
Um. Oh, did I
I
skip
think
it?
you I think you skipped it.
All right. So I guess she's like, she not did like 1 through 10, and then she's writing all this stuff, and then number 10 it says, to sum up, we do not have anything to do with this case other than being accidentally drug into it because we tweeted with Dee Dee Spicer. This has had a huge impact on our farm in terms of finding customers, and I cannot express how much I just wish we could go back to being an anonymous farm. If anything can be taken away from this case, it is that innocent people have lost all rights to privacy in cases like this. And I can sincerely say that there have been times since this started when I have read horrible things about us that I have been truly scared for our safety. Um, I can't read the bottom part because your
That was
thing.
what
But
Oh,
it says post people's addresses and identifying information in situations like this in hopes of a positive outcome for Kyron. And what is this? If anything can be taken away from this case, it is that. And oh, we already did that, right? Oops.
yeah.
Okay. Please think long and hard before you post people's addresses and identifying this information in situations like this in hopes of a positive outcome for Kyron. Heather at Rosemont. So this lady was basically warning everybody and saying the same things. Like, it's been this way since the beginning and it's still happening.
Right. That sort of shows you how already, and like I said, this is weeks into the investigation that she's saying this. And we're going to say it once again today.
Yeah.
13 years. That's a long time to be saying the same damn things.
It is. It's ridiculous that people do not wait. Hold on. Girl, I told you.
It's all right.
So yeah, it's 13 years. It's still happening. People rather make people look a certain way than worry about, actually finding Kyron. And it's really sad, the back and forth. And people don't understand that we have to be able to defend ourselves. I mean, we've been doxxed, we've been threatened, we've been harassed, we've been talked about, all of this stuff just for speaking the truth and trying to get people to understand that misinformation is not helping this case at all.
Right. And the biggest part of misinformation is that Kyron is dead. We don't know that.
We don't.
I mean, that is the biggest part of the misinformation, and that's what makes us speak out, is because, okay, if they're wrong, then there could still be a Kyron out there that's not even being looked for. It just makes no sense. Why?
I don't know. It's like, okay, so what, it's like they have a certain, what's their agenda? Like, do they not want him found? Do they just want, we were talking the other day about why have the parents not gone and said, hey, we need to make this case a cold case.
A cold case.
Yeah. I mean, in my opinion, that would be the best thing to happen.
So, well, at least then you could get new eyes to look at it.
Exactly.
But 13 years we just been running into the same damn wall. And I know what they think. I know. And that's okay. You're allowed to, have that opinion that, Terry did something horrible and that he's gone. But when there is no physical evidence of that, and then you lie on top of it and swear there's this physical evidence that just nobody's looking at, that hurts the case so much, because in what world do we live in that immunity is given with no results? And they have all this evidence sitting on their desk and they won't do. What world are we living in with that? That doesn't, I can't believe that that's the way this is going. I just can't believe that all of that is the way it is.
It doesn't make any sense. I mean, and then they put it out there that it's been 13 years since Terry has spoken to investigators. No, it hasn't. Or that she's even spoken out. It hasn't. She went on, did the people interview. Um, s- she
Well,
cooperated with Ellie in the beginning. She
mhm.
went on Dr. Phil, and look what happens when she does speak out. People are like, why isn't she speaking out? And now she's in groups sharing pictures of Kyron, talking a little bit more, but then they're trying to like scare her off. Well, I thought you guys wanted her to come and speak out. No wonder why,
There is nothing that she can do that is going to be right in their eyes.
no,
They say, why doesn't she go to a search? If she went to a search, if she showed up at a search, they would tar and feather her.
exactly. I
They
mean,
absolutely would eat her alive. Now, any person in their right mind wouldn't subject themselves to that. I
mhm,
wouldn't.
no. And even Kane in the first, when this first happened, within the month or a couple weeks, he was saying that she was doing just as much as everybody else in helping.
Yes.
It wasn't until people started attacking her, and then the whole murder for hire thing happened, which we are going to talk about because there is, we came on here because there's a lot of
There's a lot of stuff that has happened that we're going to sort of touch on today.
disgusting stuff. Disgusting.
I
People
just
are,
sort of wanted to get into the background and,
yeah,
show that this isn't just today. This isn't just you and I. This isn't just our group.
yeah,
This is the behavior that has been going on for 13 years. And, when you talk about people that it affected 13 years ago, things that happened 13 years ago, it, and yet it's still happening today. You say Terry was uh, involved in the investigation at least for the very first 3 weeks.
mm-hmm,
Um, you know, until they did the failed murder for hire sting. And at that point, I mean, there were warning signs that I feel Terry should have had a lawyer probably that first week. I'd have been like, you know what? You've done your polygraphs. You and I can't come to an agreement. I'm not going to tell you something that I didn't do.
yeah,
I need a lawyer. But no, Terry really wanted to bring her son home, and she really went for 3 weeks without a lawyer. It wasn't until it was in her face that she had to get one.
mm-hmm,
Um, and then she's criticized because she gets one. Uh, the whole, and I was there. I watched this. The whole thing with the public, the media, all of that, it started as a whisper about the picture at the first press conference.
mm-hmm,
And people sort of whispered and made her the villain right off the bat just because they didn't like the way she looked.
yeah,
And that's basically where we're at. It's a mean girl's world. And
mm-hmm,
one mean girl said, "Hey, did you see the way she was looking?" And then the next mean girl said, "Yeah, and there wasn't any tears." Yet, you know, um, none of us know Terry on a personal level or how she would react in that situation. I have been in a situation where you don't want to know how you would act,
mm-hmm,
but I guarantee you that what you think you would do is probably not what you will do.
exactly, yeah,
Your mind is so fuzzy and so blocked because the human body can only take so much, and then it
mm-hmm,
shuts down. And your brain does start shutting parts out. Like, you just do normal stuff because that's what your brain allows you to think about.
Yeah.
But it doesn't allow you to think about everything else that's going on. So you tend to hyper focus on one thing.
Mhm. I know. I don't know what I would do in this situation. So for everybody to judge and say, look at her, in my eyes, she looked just like, in shock and just,
Yes, yes. Shock is what I seen when I looked at her. Like,
mhm,
she looked like she had been shell shocked.
yeah.
I mean, and everybody says, well, Terry did it, Terry did it, Terry did it. I can guarantee you that, and I know she has spoke out, I think it was Dr. Phil that she said, what if, and they do the whole butterfly effect with it. But
Mhm.
I'm telling you, uh, you do that. That's normal for you to say, what if I had, what if I had, what if, because you blame yourself already. So what if I had done something different?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've heard you say it before, with for Orion,
Yes,
but
yes. I will always hold myself responsible to a point because what if I had done something different?
mhm. I
You
mean,
know, it's the butterfly effect. It really is. If I had changed one thing, could it have changed everything?
yeah.
And that's life. I even think that way about my son. So, you know, um, I don't get their whole flap about that. What do
No.
you have up on the screen now?
I have, okay, so from the beginning, because we're going to talk about this person that is, doing the stuff now that we're going to talk about. This is when we first started the group. We have messages. It's crazy. And I know it's crazy. uh, so, Garnett decided to show these messages, which I did a long time ago. And then we kind of, never brought it up again. Um,
Because to me, none of this is about Kyron.
yeah.
None of this has anything to do with his case. This
Hmm.
is the outside drama and people trying to I don't know, gain some sort of notoriety
Yep.
from this. Um, you and I have never looked at what we could gain from
Hmm.
Kyron's case.
Yeah.
Now, do we have ideas and do we want to do things to help his case? Most definitely. I
Hmm.
would love to be able to find a way to fund a PI because I do think that we need fresh eyes. And even if it's not in a law enforcement setting, somebody that has that background, has that information, and has that influence to take a fully investigated proposal in and say, hey,
Yeah.
look, this is what I found. I think that would be huge for this case. Um, but
And
even
we're
just keeping his name out, like with the school drive that we did last year, and sadly at time's running out, we're not going to be able to do that this year. But things like that.
and we are working on something which I don't know how it's gonna take some time, you know.
And we'll talk about that at the end. I didn't want to.
Yeah. um there's nothing to gain, there's nothing to, nobody lies in a case of a missing person, any kind of case, except if you are any of these insane fucking nut people.
Well,
um
and there's no reason to betray people and to this isn't I don't know. We're not in a murder mystery here, guys. We are in a missing child's case.
Yep. And
And
everything they do, it's a competition. It's, oh, I gotta do
we're
this.
not we're not in the CIA. We don't have spies. We, um,
Ah, Norman,
right?
jump on the live. Okay, hold on. I know you guys can. Um. So yeah, it's, this is from the beginning. This is what we've been going through. Garnett decided to write this post because these people are making the most insane claims ever uh, in the past week. So
Well,
Garnett,
hold on, because what made me make this post
mm-hmm,
is that this girl, who was part of our admin team
mm-hmm.
when we very first started, this girl decides to share private conversations. Now, she'll cry and whine all day about somebody stealing her picture that she took off of Google. But she
I was
has
I was about to do that,
issue.
Norm.
She has no issues
Uh-huh.
with sharing private conversations.
Disgusting.
Anything that I have ever shared or tried to share, these messages that you're going to see, these are private conversations, and I did not want to share these.
And you cross out the information.
Yeah, well, even at that, I don't want to share my private conversations.
Yeah.
But at this point, I feel it's important to show that clear back in April of last year, this was being said to me.
Yeah.
But she had posted private conversations, and what she showed was not the way that it was supposed to even sound. She cut out and made it to be something that it's not.
Exactly.
Are we talking about the leprechaun?
Yes.
Yeah. You guys.
Sorry. Hi, Norman. I'm on a thing because I've wanted to say all week about this because.
You guys
No,
got
you're
Norman.
good. I know you guys have been tapping in and out with me about it. So, and I've been on the post too. I've been seeing.
It crosses a moral code.
Yeah.
We have Norman on, you guys. If you guys haven't subscribed, please go subscribe to the Norman Nick Show. What, baby? Red Bull coffee and crying. Sorry, I've been so sick too, Norman. I'm still sick, but we had to jump on here and do this because it's getting out of hand.
Oh, you already know. I'm coming out of the trail end of my own, family court crap. So I just got good news though. I was trying to call you. That's the reason I was calling you.
I was like, wait.
You already know. So the attorney, so sidetrack, the attorney dropped my baby mama.
Oh, did he?
What?
Yeah, I just got the email from his paralegal. He said it says, please see attachment where the attorney withdrew from the case.
Oh, so, I knew it. I called it. That was smart.
Well, like I said, I mean, there's ways to handle yourself and there's ways not to handle yourself online. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And, you know what I mean? And I just proved that don't be afraid of the First Amendment. You know what I mean? So with that being said, the First Amendment being said, and us doing our opinion pieces on Kyron Horman and what's going on, the personal information, unfortunately, and this is just sidetrack paralegal, and advice, legal advice, not legal advice, but the information that people take from a group chat is actually public information. So it's not privatized. Right. So they can actually share that information in a group chat, just so you know. Now, if it was like a private text or a private email, that would be another story.
That is absolutely where we're at.
Well, if they used it to defame, that, you know what I mean, depending on, reputation and how far your reputation is and monetization.
And definitely, you know, for some people that are in part of this, it can definitely hurt them. But it's for me a moral issue. This is just morally corrupt. You took, yeah, you took a private conversation, you twisted it to sound, and you showed just enough to make it fit your agenda. I've spoken with, and I'm just gonna say it, I've spoken with James. I spoke with James before we ever started the group. James has always said to me that he doesn't know who did this. And regardless of who did it, he wants to see justice come. Now, he'll also in the same breath say, I don't think my mom could have pulled this off. Not for 13 years.
He says it in the interview too, you know, so he just wants justice.
So for what he said to her was, well, she might have, but that's only that part of the conversation. He's always said, I want to be open-minded about this. I don't want to be closed-minded just because she's my mom. I don't want to say absolutely she couldn't have. So we don't know whether he was badgered up until that point. We don't know, you know, how many different scenarios were tossed out up until that point. But what he's saying is, well, okay, she might have. So what's your point here? How do we, you know, and I don't know the whole conversation, so I can't go any further.
And we can't even remember, like, I don't remember him saying that at all. But like we said, if he did, then he's just being, you know, there is a possibility. But he said before that his mom couldn't, you know, like
he said he doesn't believe she did.
Yeah.
You know, but he's also said, I just want to know who did this. I want answers, you know, and
so poor James, he's being thrown. All his personal stuff is now being thrown. He dropped out of this whole thing. He came back from the military. He spoke to detectives. He, you know, wanted to help. He was in our group. He was active. He was answering questions. But the drama was so bad, he backed off, you know, because they were breaking him down. They were blaming stuff on him. They were disgusting. So for this leprechaun to come back and start posting his personal stuff and accusing her new husband of maybe possibly helping her get rid of Kyron, it's all ridiculous. It's
It is,
lot.
but unfortunately, her opinion is legal since it is a public case. So she is legally allowed to have an opinion. It just sucks that people that have an opinion some people are just very toxic and very direct about their toxicity, and they don't take in consideration. You know, somebody like me, I have to take not in consideration the team. You know what I mean? Because it's not my case that I brought to the table. You guys brought it to me and asked me to help you guys on it. So when I come and give my opinion, I have to take in consideration that I'm a sidekick in this. I'm not the superhero, you know, necessarily in this story. You guys are the main, you know, attractors. So, and I'm just kind of a spinoff, if you want to look at this like a Marvel thing or DC thing.
Oh, God.
But long story short, yes, you see the Star Wars. So long story short, you guys are the heroes in this story with Kyron, and I'm just here to assist you guys. But as far as my opinion, if I get toxic, I have to make sure that I'm directed as far as my facts and how I got the knowledge. And not only that, as far as professionalism, if I am serious about doing content in the future on other cases, and I want to have people follow my opinion into other stories, I got to make sure I'm not pissing people off that are not in the story. I mean, James is not, he's a victim in this. He's not a subject. So to present his personal information like it's, you know, like it's Terry or like it's Desiree or even Kane, you know, and Kane, I would even, is kind of like out there too. But as far as like Desiree, who is always putting herself in the front line on TV and on the
Yeah.
news, bumper stickers, Facebook, everything that she's trying to do, whatever. You know what I mean? She is open for scrutiny because she puts herself in the public eye, just like you and I. So, but James, he's private. He's a civilian. He's not he's not doing what we do. He shouldn't be on the game board.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, everybody kind of backed off from the other group, the minions over there. They kind of slowed down when he left the whole scene. But now the leprechaun is deciding to bring him back up. Like, it's really sad.
It is sad, and it's morally corrupt. This is the stuff that stops us from finding Kyron.
Yeah.
Well, you already know how I feel about it. I use you guys as a distraction so I can just stay focused on mainly Red Bull, and then I just come in from behind and just pluck them off one by one. And
Right.
One of them. So
Exactly.
so we've already discredited Desiree. We've already discredited what's the green? What's her name? Stacy. We've already, we discredited their social worker. That was their main cheerleader, who was
Nicole.
Nicole Scalito or whatever she was. We already slapped her in the ass from her boss. You know what I mean? That sent us that reply letter that said, she's not going to get fired, but we're watching her, and if there's anything else, please reach back out to us. And it wasn't a letter saying we did anything wrong either.
Yeah.
So as far as that group, like I said, they could do all they want. I'm Darth Troll as far as that I'm concerned. You know what I mean? I'm a troll catcher. You know what I mean? I play this game. I'm built for this. And not to be braggadocious, Desiree, you might want to check out my Facebook page if you happen to be. Well, I know you're not watching this, but if you get wind about this, you might want to see how I did my ex's attorney. What the fuck you think I'm gonna do to you?
And Leprechaun, I'm telling you, I mean, that attorney just dropped the baby mom. He's gone. He is gone. So I would really tread lightly and just, quit doing what you're doing. But this is where the leprechaun comes in. This is when we first started. Am I a leprechaun? No.
Phoenix?
Yeah.
Phoenix is like, I want to play with you guys.
Right?
I like leprechauns. I want to see rainbow.
Right?
Lucky Charms? No.
So this lady reached out to us when we first made the group. Coffee gives her number. This is
now, what you're seeing here. This is what she sent into to have it published. It was a request to join the group. And this is what she sent. And I then replied with my phone number.
It says, I cannot find an anonymous tab. I will, for the last time, give the only information I can. Stacy knows about Aaron. Everything there is. Screenshots between him and James. I would like to express my concern for Aaron as well. Samantha has shown conversations between everyone and a group that was made for Discord. Stacy was so angry about a group that supported Terry, she told Samantha to stay in. She went as far as asking Samantha to start acting like a Terry supporter. I cannot remember exact names. Angela was brought up as well as a Terry Bean. Then Stacy. Are there other? Oh, you put the other stuff in the comments. So Coffee gives her phone number.
Mm-hmm.
She starts messaging Coffee
privately.
It's crazy. I'm telling you, you guys are gonna be like, "What the hell?"
What state? Hold on. What state is she in?
We don't know.
I know where Coffee's at. What state is the troll in?
We have no idea.
What was the phone number? What was the phone
I
number?
believe we used, I believe they used a text me now number.
Well, what's the area code on it?
It was a Massachusetts number.
Okay. Well, we'll assume that she is in Massachusetts, and let me check the.
So she's writing copy. She's saying that she is in a group chat with DY, with Biomom, Stacy, Samantha. Did she bring anyone up at this time, Elsa?
What's there is what's there.
All right, so she says,
I can't remember off the top of my head.
So she says, Aaron will be reported. Angela, also another person. They are up to no good. I hope James is very careful. Samantha seems to think they are close, and Samantha is Leprechaun. He trusts her. I cannot say a lot. And Coffee said, I just want you all to wait. Is that you or?
I believe I'm in the blue. I can't really see it because I'm.
Okay, so I just want you all to be safe. I'm sorry I went along. It was all fun and games.
That's her.
Okay. Samantha and Stacy had come up with plans. And so then Coffee
Hold on. So the troll is admitting that Stacy and them were like conspiring outside of trying to find. So they're trying to monopolize their platform Facebook foothold so they can get these donations and all this stuff.
They were trying to break us apart. They were trying to get they thought we had some kind of information, I take it. Like,
okay.
I don't know.
They wanted, James had said about suing the author of the book.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to say in these messages about that. But that was why they were trying to get dirt on James. They wanted to know what he was doing. And they thought James had something to do with the group. Well, James never had anything to do with the group.
Well, let's say that the troll is out of Massachusetts. It's actually a two-party consent state. So if she was gonna give away any of your recordings or any of your voice or text messages, she would have to have your permission to do so. I'm a little vague on the text messaging part. You know what I mean? Because I believe where you guys were texting on your private phones, right?
Well, we're not worried about the person that messaged us. Was forewarning us that Samantha was going to do this because at that time we trusted the leprechaun
along with two other people. People, like hold on, because you're gonna be
what the fuck? This is like some like female drama soap opera.
It's like, too much, Norman.
This is like where I would walk in the living room and I'd be like, girl, what are you doing right now? Why are you not blinking in the TV? And she's like, shut up. I'm watching this. This woman is lying about her kid's death and you got to sit down, make me a sandwich. And I'm just like, okay.
I mean, that's my life. People wonder why we are so freaking like, it's beyond what everybody thinks. It goes way, 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 way more like, crazy.
Like I can't understand it. It doesn't make any sense. But this message come to me directly from someone who says that she was inside of this secret society or whatever the fuck they got going on over there.
Cobra Command.
Yeah. Okay, so she says Desiree was so distraught. James came out. These people have lost it. You all seem like nice people who really care for Kyron. Leprechaun, I'm just going to say Leprechaun. Leprechaun offered to join Discord, and so did someone else. They changed their mind. I don't understand how, Coffee says, I don't understand how trying to find a child is met with so much resistance. Leprechaun said...
It comes down to the money, though. We already know why they do this.
Leprechaun. Well, Norman, you got to remember when I started, when I was at this point, I had no idea that these people could be this way.
We're monetizing off of this, because Well, I just seen your post in the in the facts about Kyron Horman on Facebook. Because we have a
Right.
couple of groups, and I saw where Coffee, I think it was Coffee, or you posted about, um, or maybe it was one of our contacts that hit me up, but it said something about they are now bragging about how they're sending out all these bumper stickers. Where's
Yeah.
Kyron bumper stickers? How they have the biggest order they've ever gotten. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, if this isn't the biggest grift ever,
Huh?
you know what I mean? This is some Donald Trump level grifting right here. I mean, one year it's T-shirts, next year
You
it's
can
car
go play in
wash.
the water hose for a
You know
minute.
what I mean? And you guys are not using this money for anything to help out Kyron. You're just doing this to pay your bills and move on to the next hustle. There's no PI
Exactly.
involved. There's no paying law enforcement to do, you know what I mean? There's no paying a task force, you know what I mean, or anything, or donating to a task force, or using that money as an example to say, look, all proceeds that go to my Venmo account, above $5,000 goes to, XYZ,
Yeah.
donation for the Kyron Horman Fund. There's nothing like that. You know what I mean? Everything goes funnels back down to Desiree and Cobra Command, because she's the one taking them out to lunch for their affairs, for their group meetings, and their
Right.
wineries, and all the shit they show on Facebook where they're all together, BFFs, eating out
Mhm.
and doing car washes. Those people have to be supplemented. They're not just out there doing that shit for free. So there's a financial plug that's happening, and over the years that vein has gotten stronger and stronger to the point where now they are using bleeding hearts such as the Leprechaun, who have no monetization value in this. They're just in this for the adrenaline rush of being online and feeling like they're part of something bigger than themselves, and they don't
Attention.
realize that their energy is being used for toxic means, you know what I mean, to galvanize regular people out of their money.
Yeah. It's
This
attention
is just like, you're
seeking.
right, this
It
is
is.
just super sick. This is like
It,
really
it,
super
it
sick.
is super sick.
It
Like,
is.
I absolutely don't understand how it's this way.
Well,
Now,
Well,
baby.
most people
you
that
can
have a child
argue.
that sorry, most people that have a child that die, you know what I mean? They go through a mourning process. And that mourning
Okay.
process doesn't allow it doesn't it allows you to move on so you don't affect other people's lives in a negative manner. It
Yep.
allows you to, to move on so you can continue, you know what I mean? Because that's the circle of life. But it's like she's doing a cheat code. And it's like she doesn't have to go through the grieving process because she's some type of mother, or her uterus was special or something.
Mm-hmm.
That's just me looking at it. I mean, I deal with cases, although you guys deal with cases all the time. And every time I'm like, you're 13. What makes her case so special that she gets to galvan, you know what I mean, to
Uh,
monetize off this just
Hey, I've
consistently?
said that, uh, in 13 years, I've never seen, for me, when the anniversaries come up, um, every year,
Hold
I
on.
don't know how it's going to hit me.
Hold on, guys.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. Every year, I don't know how it's going to hit me. I don't know whether I'm going to be angry, whether I'm going to be sad. Um, but when you see at these car washes and stuff, she's always sad. Well, I find that very, very, very hard to believe that never once have you been angry at one of these. Never once have you, you know, been salty because here I am still doing this. It's always the fake tears.
Well, it's guilt. I mean, and not to bring up my own family history, but the reason why I see this parallel to what I've experienced is because I've come from a broken home and reunited, with a parent or whatever. And I've
Right.
seen that parent make excuses to why they weren't there all those years and expect everything just to, what I mean, pick up, right where it's left off. And they do all this extra stuff. As a child, you may not see it, you may not
Right.
appreciate it but as an adult and seeing this through adult eyes, you're like, well, why are you defending this? Why is this extra? Why does this even matter? You know what I mean? And as an
Right.
adult, you start seeing the story through adult eyes and not through a child's eyes or through bleeding heart eyes. You know what I mean? So the way I see this parallel is like, okay, all these years, whether I'm in your life or not, you know, you've had opportunity after opportunity to be involved, or to, you know, to do something positive towards this side, or towards, you know, something towards my life. But in parallel to what she's doing, she's not going through the grieving process to allow anything positive to happen with Kyron, or for Kane, for his brother, for his sister, for Terry, you know, for her husband, anybody. She's just making this about her, just like any bitter baby mama, or any bitter adult that feels cheated from a divorce, or feels cheated from a relationship. This is their way of saying, ha, I get the last word, or ha, I'm going to keep rolling with this because I get the last endorphin rush, you know what I mean, out of this echo of an argument. You know what I mean?
That
So
is such a good way to look at it, too. I love your perspective sometimes.
it's just hard for me. Sometimes it's hard for me to articulate, especially when I'm dealing with my own, you know, my own circle. But that's why I like doing podcasts and stuff, because it allows me to be able to look outside and then relate, you know, with what I'm going through. And it's like, well, look, the reason I'm the good guy and not the nice guy is because I realize that the mission has to be done, and I realize it has to be done in a positive manner. But if I'm constantly being the nice guy and trying to appease everybody on the way, we're going to keep chasing our tail, and we're going to keep trying to say, oh, I'm so sorry. Let me retract what I said. Fuck that. I said what I said methodically and with purpose. And if you disagree with it, prove me wrong. Let's have a real debate. Let's not sit here and go, I'm going to demonetize you. I'm going to troll you. No, let's have an honest debate. If you feel some type of way, hit me up on Messenger, or hit me up on my video and say, yo, Norm, let's have a debate. You know, can we talk, you know, by text, you know, off the record or whatever. And let's have that discussion, because I think I've been on the platform long enough to say that I've never exposed anybody that didn't need to be exposed or deserve to be exposed. But when somebody's ever came to me and say, yo, off the record, it's always been off the record. For instance, everybody thinks, and I'm going to say this right now, I know how Daryl Brooks's sister, his twin sister, died. I'm never going to tell anybody, because when it was revealed to me, it was revealed to me off the record. But I'm never going to say, everybody hits me up, yo, I know you know, I know you know, I know you know. I will never tell, even though I can't stand Daryl Brooks's mother to a fucking T. I will never tell how her daughter died without somebody else exposing it first.
Right. Because it's a moral compass that you follow.
It's a code.
You know, when you sell your soul to the devil because you want to get views, there's something wrong with that.
Or you want to sell your soul to the devil because you want to make it to the next hustle. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Or the next tax period. Yeah.
All right, I'm back.
All right. Oh, so we got off rail there. So where are we going next?
Okay.
These are all in our group, and you can go read this conversation. I do want to publicly apologize to whoever wrote this to me. You know, this is like, I really felt there was no choice, and I've done everything I can do to protect your identity.
Well, as long as you're not showing names and and eyeballs, you know what I mean? Because like even with me, and I've proven my again, I would refer back to my selfishness in my family court videos. It's dangerous territory, especially in family court, to be a content creator and post your private information publicly, is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
And it can be definitely used. Look at Donald Trump. It can be used against you if it's not done delicately. But I was able to do it and show that it could legally be done, and it can be done with methodical purpose to show, look, I'm not doing this to exploit anybody. I'm doing this as a shield, not as a sword. This is the way this is how you show education, so that not only you other fathers and myself don't have to keep going through this again, but the other generations, such as our children, won't have to go through this in case they get with a toxic person, being man or woman. So, these lessons have to be learned. And and on a side note, one of the things that probably could have helped as far as like child custody and stuff like that is if, because I know I'm going off Arizona because I'm learning all this stuff as I go, but with Kyron Horman's case, as far as Cain, when I was looking at the divorce decree, comparing it to here, and I don't know how it is in Oregon, but if it is similar to Arizona, he could have used a lot of that statute of limitation where she was just out of MIA and gone for months on end against her as far as like inconsistency with time and nurturing with the child, especially when she was trying to play this whole back and forth with the other father. You know what I mean? Trying to figure out how she can monetize off child support when she was claiming she was going to die of a liver disease or whatever,
Right.
With all this stuff. And it's like, well, if you have this medical condition, I have a medical condition. I have full custody of my kids because there's nobody else. You know what I mean? And I don't use that medical condition as a crutch to say, I need help, I need help, I need help. I make it happen regardless if I'm in pain or not, regardless if I'm tired or not. I have to do it. There's nobody else. There's no backup. So as a woman in that situation, in the same situation, why would she feel as a woman, if you were having medical issues, that you could use that in a divorce decree to say, I need more time with my children? No, you need more time to get yourself better, because when we're on a plane and that fucking oxygen mask, it doesn't say make sure the kids are taken care of first. It says do you first, take care of your health first, and then you put the mask on the fucking child. If your health is fading, how are you going to take care of that child? That's why I can't respect her. I saw through her bullshit from the beginning. She's all about the money, and she so reminds me of so many people I've met along, up until now, you know what I mean, through my videos and in real life. And it just disgusts me because she just proves me right. Season after season after season, year after year, she just proves me right.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't see it, and they question, well, why are you guys calling, Biomom out, and why? But it's the same thing also as Terry, or Kane. People are like, why are you not respecting that Biomom thinks Kyron is unalive? And it's like, why are you guys not respecting that Kane thinks his son is alive as well? So it's back and forth, but everybody, it's all about Biomom. That nobody ever thinks about anybody else in this situation.
Well, Kane also hasn't made an army of fucking trolls online to deplatform people that are trying to do the better good.
Yeah,
they're actually trying to. We all. I mean, I don't know how many people came before us, but you know what I mean. How many people they knocked off the ring that weren't even using this as their main story? They just touched on the story and didn't agree, and they just attacked them like piranhas. And then we're just lucky we have tougher skin, and we, the piranhas tickle me. The troll piranhas tickle me. I'm like, get underneath there. You know what I mean? I need get underneath there. I need you to get some of that troll underneath my arm. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, I'm like that big ass rhino those birds pick off of and shit. I'm just twitching in here. I'm just like, yeah, whatever. So, but yeah, Kane never started a Cobra Command army of trolls to monetize and keep his platform going. He did and all that, and everything that came along with that. That's the difference.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. That's what I'm saying. Like people, they're falling for whatever Biomom says, and it goes. But it's like,
I think the difference is Kane too took his like a hobby. Like he took his whole biker thing and made it about his son. You know what I mean? And that's part of the grieving. That's what we were talking about as far as the healthiness and positive remembrance of your son. What Desiree doing is not positive. Remember, all you're doing is just fucking flicking and stepping on people, and you're a bully. You're just an online fucking bully.
Yeah, that's what it is, and that's what this stuff it proves, because there's way more into this. We got the leprechaun. She brought up, she proved with this mole. We used to call her the mole, or him. We don't know what it is, but we used to call it the mole. So Samantha's the leprechaun showing all these screenshots, so she saved all these screenshots, which the mole, showed us, I think.
But she told me that there were screenshots and that that somebody was very good with Photoshop as well.
Oh yeah.
But
so we got rid of leprechaun. Then a couple weeks later, the mole comes and talks about Sarif, and Sarif was another admin.
Okay, sorry. Okay.
So then we, just listened, because at this point we were like, you know what, enough is enough. Like, so we just told her what happened, and then she got out of the group. Leprechaun decided to go make her own group, and then it was just me, Coffee, and Lita. Now this is where this comes in, because the other day Leprechaun posted and said, oh, this was all a setup by Terry and James. That Terry was the mole. Okay, but listen, while she was in group, she said that Terry was stalking her because she knows she was onto something, and Terry didn't want her to find out. Like, I have all those messages, dude. It's crazy.
You know why I don't like getting involved in this, because who's the guy that you guys keep warning me about, that keeps reaching out to me about this case?
Oh, Aaron.
Yeah. So, and it's like, these people are like, and I can respect the game. I respect the game. It's the players, you know what I mean, that I have an issue with. You know what I mean? And it's like, dude, you're not a sleuth. You're obsessed.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? It's like, to these women that are on here, it's like, you guys have no tangible proof. You guys just went off rumors and you implanted them in your head like they were facts.
Yes.
There was nothing. And then you come online and you're like, it sounds like, and again, politically, it sounds like a bunch of far nuts that are just like, oh no, what about whoop, whoop, whoop? And it's like, when did this happen? When was there bamboo ballots? And you know what I mean? When was there, what did I miss? Because I'm very attuned to, the world history and world events and everything else. And even though I don't follow, far right extreme stuff, I'm pretty in central, left, central, a little bit in the right, because I agree with some of the politics as far as finance, and I don't believe in big government.
You're gonna get coffee yelled at again.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. But
that whole political thing.
But they go off all this stuff, and then you hear Jewish space lasers and and I'm like, what the fuck did I miss? I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. I can't even I can't talk even about voting, or I can't talk about an opinion with you, because you're literally in space with your fucking theory. You're literally talking about space lasers, and you're talking about somebody conspiring with a 15-year-old to kill his brother. And what are you talking about?
Oh wait. Oh, don't say that, because somebody came and told us that Area 51 had Kyron, and oh my God, I can't even. You guys, it's so much.
I'm done. I'm done.
I know.
I'm done. Did a bumper sticker come up after that? Like, can you buy a bumper sticker?
Okay, so wait. Okay, so then the group chat that we had after we got rid of the admin, James was not in it. We called it the Three Goats. It was myself, Coffee, and Lita. We were the last admin, and it was like that for months. Lita used to be on our channel, and so James couldn't have seen, taken all these screenshots and done all this stuff, right? Because he was not in that group chat. The mole comes back again and says something about Lita. Lita started acting strange the last, I would say, couple weeks before the mole even came out. And they started talking about Lita. So we asked her, because she was a really good friend. We didn't even, we were like, no way. Like, Lita, what?
It couldn't be.
Couldn't it be Lita? Couldn't it be? But this mole knew everything
things that were in that chat that we wouldn't put anywhere else.
That nobody knew. Nobody. So it couldn't have been Terry. So Leprechaun, let me, let you in on a little secret. James was not in that chat, and we have it to prove it. There is no way that Terry was out to get you this bad that she decided to set this whole thing up, and she was following you, because you are not onto anything. All you do is drive around with, you don't even have money for fucking gas, and you drive around taking pictures, then you get Crime Weekly to freaking play a voice in your video, and you gave them the wrong
So
entry.
hold on. So she's driving her. So she's from Oregon, or
Oh
she
yeah,
just taking.
she lives right there.
Oh, so she must be like by Stacy's mom's house, mother-in-law's house, where the dispensary is. Because
Probably.
aren't they all like, or don't they all just meet up and take trips and talk about how long,
Right.
how long does it take a baby to have an ear? Like, they make up these theories, like,
Yes.
how many people does it take to screw in a light bulb type joke? You know what I mean? And they're like, well, how long does it take a baby to fall asleep with an ear? Like, if you're driving 5 miles an hour in the woods, it's 12 miles, 12 miles long. You know what I mean? It's like,
I can't. I can't. And this is what gets everybody now. Crime Weekly, who I used to love. I love Stephanie Harlow. I can't even watch her now because I've reached out to her for I think like almost a year. And I've been telling her, this and that, 10 to life. And you are the only people that reached out and actually helped. So the fact that Crime Weekly searched up the boy missing and she is what popped up. They used what she said and gave everybody the wrong information. And then Stephanie had the nerve to say, what did she say about Terry having fake profiles?
Yeah, something about Terry. And now Terry has said several times in our group that she has only had the 2 Facebooks. The one she has now and her original one, which got shut down when Kyron went missing.
And because Derek was like, we have to stay, we have to look at both sides. And then here comes Stephanie. Well, I bet that Terry, with all her fake profiles, is happy you said that. So you're getting false.
But what difference does it make about any catfish profiles? I mean, it's not against the law. It's not against the law to probe. It's not against the law to make a fake profile and try to spy on your kids or spy on your ex or, you know what I mean? Any of that. What is against the law is to make a fake profile and act like a child and go after another child, which has not been done. So all this back and forth, I don't think it's going to do any of us any good, but I think it's good to touch in on to let people know, hey, don't be fooled by the toxicity and the Kool-Aid.
That's why we said we're addressing it this last time.
But I wouldn't dive into this and make this a regular and make them famous. Yeah, you guys have come too far.
We just want to let everybody know that this is where it started from, because now there is more stuff coming out. She posted a screenshot of me saying, because I did talk to the landscaper and I had to speak Spanish to him. He did not know English well at all. So in this message in the group chat, I said, she was going to give me her address so he could drive to her house. Like, she was going to see if he had a white truck, whatever. I don't know. So she would not answer. And then she was like, well, how am I going to speak to him? And I was like, jokingly, I put my head like this. I was like, maybe he learned English, or, I said something like that. So she's like, oh, she lied. He did know English. I'm like, bro, I did this. And you can tell that I was exaggerating. You erased your side of the conversation. You erased everything in the chat, so nobody can even see what you were saying. I don't have a reason to lie. That was 13 years ago. Who cares if he even knew English now? It wouldn't have mattered 13 years ago. He could have learned in that time. So why would I just make that up? Doesn't make any sense at all. Like, these people
and that's all we're doing is showing that, there are 2 sides to every story. And just because somebody puts out a screenshot, think about what the entire conversation could be.
Yeah.
Before you just say.
They don't show their side.
No.
And also, there was something else.
You know what you guys should do? You know what would piss them off? Is if you guys started like your own campaign. Like, how they have the bumper stickers that say,
Hold on, real quick.
The bumper stickers that say like "Ask Terry" or you know what I mean, or you know the shit, the antagonistic shit that they do that is unproductive to finding Kyron or getting any information. You guys should start your own campaign. Like anytime, it doesn't matter if it's you guys or somebody new. It should be a common knowledge theme to say, "Show me the receipts."
Right.
You know what I mean? So every time they make an accusation, say, "Show me the receipts. Show me a video. Show me the paperwork." We see the divorce decree. We see everything adding up in the dots. But show me the bridge. Show me the proof.
Right, and show it all. Show me what led to this.
Yep. Show me your if your contacts are that thorough and they're not just some off nut job that's saying that they they've been following this case for 15 years, even though it's only 13-year-old case. You know what I mean? And George Soros and everybody else is in. And Tim Apple was involved in everything else. You know what I mean? I get it. Jeffrey Epstein. I want to know all your sources to how Kyron is now on some farm in California where Terry is like down the street.
Right.
It's really insane. It is. And it's sad that it's always been this way. But like,
what's going to be so sad is that, in the future, like 20, 30 years from now, how we watch these videos of like old crimes that were solved because somebody went into a cave and they found the old outlaw in there with the hand missing that proved it was him, whatever it is. Somebody's going to find this kid's bones somewhere. You know what I mean? In 30 years, when Terry's dead, when Desiree's dead, everybody's gone. You know what I mean? And they're gonna see this kid somewhere where he was like huddled up somewhere cold in the fetal position, and God forbid in the sewer, like we were talking about, where nobody's checking,
right?
Or you know what I mean, or under in a little cove somewhere, like in a tree trunk or wherever. You know what I mean? He's somewhere, but they're gonna find him in the future, and they're gonna revisit this case, and they're gonna be looking at our videos, they're gonna be looking at their videos, and history is really gonna tell. History is really gonna show them in like 13 years. And this woman scammed how much money?
Right.
While this kid's body was in a fetal position in this little, in this little cave or this little, cove or whatever.
Yep. Because a lot of people don't know. This is stuff that people don't tell you. He left, his class 2 times before. One time he ended up in a soccer field. The other time, he was in the bathroom.
Yeah.
No fence going out into the woods. No fence.
No.
And today on one of the Kyron websites, this person said, this is how much misinformation there was. She was like, Kyron didn't even show up to school that day. I heard it on a interview or something. And I was like, what are you talking about?
It wasn't Dr. Phil.
No, I just had to write a huge thing. Like, what are you talking about? He was seen at school. That's
Spank lasers.
I just don't understand. I don't.
That's every time they start going on, this say space lasers. Show me the receipts and space lasers. That's all I hear.
That's gonna be it.
Show me the receipts and
the
space
response
lasers.
to everything.
You guys keep going off and all these tandem. I show me the space laser satellite. I want to see it. I want to see it.
They also brought up Garnett's little, not paying her rent thing again. They were trying to make us look like scammers again.
I'm going through rent issues. Who's not going through rent issues? Everybody's going through a crunch right now. Okay. Let me get something clear right now. There, as global warming is happening, it's kind of like what's happening right now with the financial world and politics. And just to give you guys a crash course lesson for anybody who's watching, it's slowly happening. There's only going to be a 2-class system. There's going to be the ultra rich, and then there's going to be everybody else.
Right.
And right now is what we're seeing as the onstart of that. This is where everybody starts getting gouged on prices. They start making a slave wage, all this stuff, while we're watching the people that we voted into office get inaugurated into this members only club where their kin and their kids and everybody has access to our taxpayer money and their portfolios. But we no longer have access to the education or knowledge of how to get to that that part, or defend ourselves in voting in somebody that could help us. We're doomed.
Right.
I mean, what will happen now is the United States will take control of Christianity just like the Roman Empire did, and they'll dissolve themselves from an empire into a church. That's what's going to happen. And then that military bases are going to be everywhere. They're going to be the new Vatican. We're going to be the new church, and we're going to be everywhere trying to moralize everything through our military and through our religion.
Oh God.
That's exactly what's going to happen. And we're going to be demanding all this. And I don't want to make fun of anybody who's, hardcore Christians, but if you look at how history has went, throughout the decades, throughout all the empires, Christianity has only been around for a couple of thousand years. How many empires have been there before that, as far as humanity? And how many of those religions are kind of a carbon copy of what we know of Christianity? Even all the way up to the Anunnaki. You know what I mean? If you want to go that far back, they talk about the flood. They talk about, the Nephilim. You know what I mean? Every one of these religions talk about the same thing. So there's nothing new under the sun. The only difference is the lack of education of the new generation that's being kept from the minors being able to take over from the adults. That's all it comes down to. And right now, the adults are so uneducated because they're so greedy and selfish in power that they don't realize how sophisticated these kids are. My kids, electronically, and how organized they are. And when you talk to these civic leaders that are on Capitol Hill and they don't even know how Facebook works or, exactly how Big Brother works as far as being able to take your information, even though they put these laws in power, where do you think we're going to end up? And where do you think we're going to end up in 20 years when, there's only this small sect of know-it-alls that are running the company and they want to guard all that money because of their philosophy?
Oh God.
It's happening right now. Everybody's getting crazy. You talk about, he can't pay his rent. The people that are homeless on the streets right now are triple than what they
I don't
were
want to think about
10 years ago. It's what it is. We're coming to Mad Max times. We're coming to Mad Max times, and they want you. It's kind of like the aliens thing. They don't want to tell you a comet coming. They're not going to tell you until you see it. They're not until you see the headlights. They're not going to be like, "Oh, watch out!" You know what I mean? They're not going to tell you because they don't want disorder. They don't want you making preparations to get out of the way because they need you to keep going to work. They need you to keep delivering that food. They need you to keep going. You know what I mean? To keep going to the nurses. You know what I mean? To do the nursing job. They need you to keep riding those buses so they can keep everything going because it's the minute that we take off work and I saw that there was somebody did this on TikTok. They made this, it was a finance philosopher. He said, the system is set up based on our monetary gifting and taxes. So as long as we all are paying into the system keeps governing us. If we all collectively put our differences aside and took off of work and did everything, let's say for 3 months, we stockpiled everything, and then we took a month off of work, the whole system would crash. Our whole political leadership would flip to where instead of us begging our politicians to do what we want, they will be begging us to put them back in power so they can make everything right because they want to make sure that everything's working again.
Yeah.
But it's like a boycott. We as a collective people would have to boycott the United States, like how they try to. Like right now, how they try to use the government against us, how they say, well, we'll just not refund the debt ceiling and and everything will stop. And it's like, no, it won't. You guys, Democrat, Republican, it doesn't matter. Every one of you are invested through your donors. Every one of you invested through every political field that you can think of to get you in power. The Koch brothers, all these people that are owning Apple jobs, all Koch brothers, all those people. They would not let that happen because they would lose so much money, and they don't agree with you as a politician trying to get clickbait.
Yeah,
that's what it comes down to. You can fearmonger to get votes and to stay in power, but when it comes down to it, they're going to let that debt ceiling rise because they don't want the stock market to crash because that means all of their money gone, all their power gone. That means all the military bases and everything we have investments in overseas and everything gone. So they could talk about us not being able to pay our rent and you know what I mean. everybody is struggling. All the content creators are struggling right now. No, everybody's in the same boat.
And that's what, like, we don't, you know, this was not even recently. This was years ago. And they're just bringing it up. You know, when you don't pay rent and then they decide to sue you, sometimes. I mean, sometimes.
You're talking about like your landlord try to get recoup his money. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what, you know, and then they looked up her background and that came up. So they're saying that we are scammers because of that. It's like, you know.
Yeah, so it comes with the territory. I got Phil's uncle or in-laws from Arnsman's case in New York, Rome, New York, on TikTok. So he's got his, okay, so you remember his baby mama's mom, her father is the Nazi that died. That was in the obituary when we looked it up, right? And he was a direct Nazi from World War II who came to the United States and became political in Rome, New York. Well, that political money that the father brought from, and set up in Rome, New York is now colonial money, basically, because now it's generationally given to his daughter and to his son and all that. Well, his son, Tony, is this idiot, short little Mario brother, old dude. He's like in his 70s or 60s. And since I took the case over and I went viral with it, he's been trolling the shit out of me. He's hired attorneys to look up my background. He claims he's hired attorneys to look up my background. Well, I did a background check on him, and the only attorney that's in their family is this guy named Uncle. His name is Joe something. And I think it's Ernstman.
That's the one that, he's trolling you everywhere.
Yeah. So basically, the father, the attorney that's in the family is like a cousin. So it's like, you know what I mean? And he's like real estate law, if I remember correctly. He's not even like criminal law or anything like that. He happens to be an attorney that's in like real estate or, something minor, you know what I mean? Some bullshit, you know what I mean? So he's like, I know people and this, that, and the other. So long story short, he keeps trolling and he keeps digging further and further. And he's like, you owe child support and you all this. And I'm like,
oh my God.
No, I don't. I don't even have to pay. I don't even get charged for child support anymore. I used to, but you may be looking up old information because there was a time where I had, gotten in a car accident back in the day and I lost my job and I fell behind. But
and you have your younger kid. You have your kids. So
well, either way, you owing child support or you in debt does not make you a criminal, and that's what people with money don't understand. They look at like homeless people and they're like, oh, you must be a drug addict or a criminal or whatever. And it's like, no. Opportunities are different depending on where you live and who you live with. Exactly. As a woman, especially these women on Cobra Command Island that have no jobs, or you know what I mean, and have a man or whatever their situation, or live with their in-law or whatever their situation is, such as Stacy, they have time and money to not do anything but troll. Yeah. Because they're not contributing positively to society in any capacity.
No, they're not. And it's a sad situation. They have to try to, find and twist anything they can to try to make us look bad, the ones that are calling them out on it. But it's like, whatever you guys say, whatever you do, it's not going to affect us at all. Is it annoying? Yes. Especially when you get threatened by social workers. But, you help me take care of that quick. So,
I love when they put my name in them. I think my name has been in so many rooms that I've never been in. And I'm just, at this point, I'm just like, you know what I mean? Tell me something I don't know. You know what I mean? Exactly. I hear all kind of rumors about me and I find them so fascinating.
Yeah. And that's why, we were just going to do this last live, just to help people understand why we were getting the misinformation out there and showing what is really right, because nobody looks at the full story. Like the divorce documents that show the book is very misleading. If Crime Weekly would have looked at those divorce documents, they would have been like, oh, wow, like I'm not going to name this book in my show because it's bullshit. But they didn't look at it. It's like, you guys have to look at facts. So we just want everybody to look at facts. We're going to make our group what we started out as, we're gonna start doing events again. We just came up with a couple of ideas today.
I've seen something on FB.
Oh, wait, did you?
I
Oh,
think you were posting something in one of the
uh,
chats,
yeah.
one of the
So
groups.
it's gonna be for like Christmas, but we're gonna start around Halloween, like the beginning of October. So if Coffee gets on, she had to take a call, she said,
No,
but
you're good.
she can explain. So just focus on Kyron. Like I've never in my life seen such bullshit. You know, if you don't look at this and think that this is insane and crazy and we don't have a right to defend ourselves, there's something wrong with you.
What cracks me up is how they love to talk mess about, about this is what's factual and this is what is not factual. And if you don't agree with me, this is what your consequence or this is what's going to happen. And that's been the vibe for like the last 5 years, more or less.
Yeah.
It's like nobody else can have an opinion. Nobody else can do anything but drink the Kool-Aid.
And that's why we started, this whole thing, because that hasn't helped Kyron in 13 years. So try something new, try something different. And we have no reasons to lie. Like if something's our opinion, we're gonna state, oh, this is our opinion. But we do have contacts, we do make phone calls. We're not gonna sit here and make up bullshit like all these other people do, because it would make us just like them, the same people that we call out, and that's not what we're about. So oh, I'm so sick, my voice.
You're good. Well, like I said, I wasn't expecting to come on. I forgot. I saw that you guys were doing a live and I forgot. And then the email popped up and I was just like, oh my God, let me call Red Bull Coffee and tell them what happened. Because, you guys are
Man, I am so happy for you, because
So
I bet she is mad as fuck.
Well, we already knew this was, sidetrack. We already knew this was going to happen because, from before. And, how I am, I'm no slouch when it comes online. If I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. So
Yeah.
I think low key, me exploiting him online about his address. And he was just like, yo, and I don't agree with, everything that you're doing, because he is right. You're not being, you're not trying to squabble. You're being a bitch. And because on here, I'm looking at the paperwork right here. It says the client has been notified of, or it says undersigned counsel moves the court to enter an order allowing Michael W. Albee to withdraw as attorney for representation in the matter based on respondents' wish to proceed without Michael Albee's representation at this time.
Man, so you
This
think
was
she's
your
gonna
decision? You're in control, or this was his decision, and he let you seem like you were in control?
right? What do you think?
Good.
Is she gonna get another one, or is she just court's gonna be
Even
dropped?
if she gets another one, it's going to look even worse. It's going to look very, very bad for her, because it's going to be one. He advised her to go to this other person who is more toxic or more sharper than he is as attorney. Because
Yeah.
this guy, me, I'm a paralegal and you've seen, I talk to attorneys, what I mean, online all the time. I
Yeah.
podcast with them. So when this guy, I saw his shit online, I was like, this guy's no real attorney. I saw right through his shit.
Napoleon Dynamite wannabe. Oh my God, you guys, Norman made this guy shave his head. That's how hurt this man was. Like, he was like, I do not want to look like Napoleon Dynamite when I go into court or whatever. Like, he shaved his whole entire head. I'm telling you, tread very lightly.
Well, I think what it was too is I don't dance with men that help my ex against the best interests of my kids. I don't care if it's her boyfriend. I don't care if it's my own father. I do not. If you call, like my dad, you call my ex and you try to conspire and try to make plans behind my back, knowing that I'm the primary custodial parent because me and you are not seeing eye to eye at the moment. To me, that's dishonest. That's a disloyal, disrespect, especially in blood. That's a bitch move. So if you are not man enough, and I think me and Coffee were talking about this, and not to let out my own skeletons, but if you are not man enough to deal with another man and say, hey, can we talk? You know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah. And instead of you coming at him and saying, I apologize, or can we clear the air? And you bypass that man and cross that line and go to his ex, who you know is toxic, that we have a family court case or whatever, and you try to stir up shit. You know what I mean? I'm in your ass. You know what I mean? And same thing with this attorney. Like you when you got her as a client and me and you started interacting, the first thing you should have did was a background check on her, knowing what I do for a living.
Exactly. And
There's a reason why I have full custody.
Yeah, and that's why I was like, how is he even helping a woman that has, you know, so many this, so many that? Like, any lawyer that would defend, you know, help a person like that try to get their kids back. I mean, she needs counseling, she needs therapy, she needs a lot of stuff for years to even.
Well, low key, the attorney sent me an email and he was like, yo, I don't understand why the hostility online and you trying to defame me and da da da. And, you know, I sent him a lot of messages back. Yeah, I was like, look, man, you're not the enemy. I said, I'll go ahead and, you know, take off I privatize the videos, you know, whatever. I said, you're not the enemy. She's using you just like the state, just like me, just like the kids, just like my father, just like everybody else. Because, you know, she's not that guilt factor. You know what I mean? Yeah. You're not there. You were selfish. And now even if you got your shit together now, you haven't shown consistency, you know, up to this point to even be relied upon to say, hey, let's make a change. You know what I mean? All of a sudden you get a new place to live, or you get a new car or whatever it is. And you're like, oh, I'm stable all of a sudden. It's like, whoa, 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 whoa. You just moved into this new house, or you just got this new car, or you know what I mean, or whatever. How are you stable? Stable is time. I've lived in the same place. It may be an apartment, but I've lived in the same place for 5-6 years. And before that, 5-6 years before that, to show where stability for the kids going to the same school. And they've only known 2 different schools, you know what I mean, that they went to because of that transition. And the only reason we transitioned from the condo to the apartment is because with my ex, you know, she was trying to fight at that time my girlfriend, you know what I mean? And you know, and I had to break up with her because I wasn't trying to bring my baggage into a new relationship and thinking that I can force this girl and her new dog, you know what I mean? And to swallow this pill that they didn't sign up for, you know what I mean? So, you know, when you love somebody, you let them go, you know what I mean? You just, if they're bitter, or you let, you know, whatever, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. But I have pretty people problems, so I don't chase people. You know what I mean? I'm worried about being chased. I'm worried about being stalked. So I have no time to chase people. There's nobody that I'm infatuated with that I care enough. And then, unless I'm going to make a story and monetize off of it, doing a story, you know, or whatever, as far as, you know, public awareness or whatever, as far as my content, then that's another story. But as far as my private life, there is nobody that I care about emotionally that you would need to look them up unless somebody brought it to my attention, like, yo, somebody's fucking with your daughter, or somebody's messing with your, you know what I mean? Then I would activate. But there's no, I choose to be single, not on some incel shit. I choose to be single because
you focus on your kids, and you know, they're your number one priority, and they've been through a lot as well, you know, with their mom.
Yeah, I mean, just because I want to have pillow talk with somebody, it's not fair to them to bring somebody new into the house. You know what I mean? To try to be whatever, you know, to try to take out the syncrasy of that we got our orbit. You know what I mean? So I'm not that selfish. You know what I mean? I think I got enough memories. I got enough experience that I don't need new experiences while they're in this milestone that they're in, you know, into going into adulthood. Exactly. So I think it would be selfish of me to try to bring in somebody new. You know what I mean? Until after, you know, 7 years, you know, the last one is 18. So,
Well, I knew that was going to happen. I'm happy it happened. I just now want to know, is she just going to drop it? That's the best thing for her to do, especially for the kids.
We go to court on the 16th. We go to court in 7 days.
Yeah, but
I told you she filed a restraining order. This is probably why she filed a order of protection on me 2 days after we had the hearing.
Yeah, and didn't even bring it up in court because
and the attorney I mean, it was half hour of just back and forth kosher, you know, no hostility. Everything was so cool. The judge was so cool. Everything was cool. And then all of a sudden I got a sheriff at my door talking about a restraining order. I was just like, what? So I think
I
that
didn't
was
know.
when the attorney was like, whoa, you know what I mean? The judge, you know what I mean? What the fuck are you doing? And this isn't
Yeah.
even the same judge. This is a constable. It wasn't even the same court case.
If that was if that was the
So,
case, you would have brought it up in court and
well,
all of this other stuff, and you
so
don't
for
have a background of that.
well, so in court, as far as the chess game in court, you know, so you guys know, when they file a false order like this and it goes to a commissioner, and I go in there on the 16th and I show the evidence to where we have family court proceedings happening, and she only does this when family court is involved as a way of muddying up the waters to claim she's a victim. I'm going to go in there and show where her attorney removed himself from the case because of this move, because she's not doing this in the best interest of the kids. And
Yeah.
so this bogus order is going to get quashed, and now this is going to be used as evidence,
Yeah.
along with the fake CPS bullshit, along with all the other, you know what I mean, that she's been
Exactly.
doing. And this is going to make the judge look at her like, he is absolutely right. What are you doing? You're not co-parenting.
Yeah. Any judge, they're gonna see through the BS.
It's what it is. But I want to take. I know you were doing this about Kyron. We kind of made this about me.
Well,
You know,
no, we're done. I am gonna get off because the kids they're gonna have a half day. So but I am gonna call you because I want to talk about that.
well, actually, I want a podcast. You know, without, because I blur out everything, and you know what I mean. But
Mhm.
I've been doing so well so far with the education on TikTok. You know what I mean? Because I've been putting out videos as far as education on father's rights and what to do in court, and so
Yeah.
they've been doing pretty good. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start, like I said before, veering my content more towards parental rights education, father's rights education, as well as crime. So that
Yeah.
way, when we have a story like Kyron Horman, I can tackle the domestic violence, the court aspect of it, and show where the
Mhm.
father or the mother could have made a difference by filing this or doing this.
Yeah. Yeah, we
So
have talked about, and I've been sick, so I know I suck. Like I've literally, I don't know. I think I need to go get tested for COVID. It's
okay.
bad, but
But yeah,
we
I'm
were
gonna.
talking about like I think like Mondays. What?
Well, I'd love to hit it every
Oh
day.
my
You know what I mean?
God!
Find a schedule where we could do this every day, even if we are on here from like a half hour or so.
Yeah, we were
Just like
gonna
a
come up
crime
with.
update. Yeah, like a crime update.
Uh-huh. So we'll start that. I just gotta get better. Like today was the first day we've gone live in a long time, but we just want to let people know, like, look, we're gonna be the bigger people. Y'all keep being weird. You guys keep doing what you're doing over there, but people see, people are gonna see through the bullshit. So
Well, I'm on hiatus until October anyway because helping out
I
OPI.
know.
Yeah, when I helped out OPI and I put that predator catcher stuff on my YouTube platform, I got demonetized until October. So, and my guys and my guys here in Arizona, they were like, on your other channel, you should talk about how YouTube, blah blah blah, and make a complaint, da da da. And I was just like, I ain't got time for it. I just want to make new
Yeah.
content, move on. So.
Well, you are doing the TikTok a lot though, right?
Yeah, I mean, the reason why I'm able to monitor. They made me wait until October is because I guess YouTube figured my channel was going to die. But
Yeah.
all I did was kind of repurpose everything in short form over to TikTok to funnel them back to. So I mean, I'm getting more subscribers even though I'm not monetized. So they may not be
Exactly.
showing my videos, but I'm showing my videos. So
Exactly. Well, we'll make up a schedule. We're gonna talk about the times and everything, but we just, we'll get it together and we'll do the thing like we said on our channel and then on your channel, I guess whatever we're gonna do. But I'm
no
gonna
worries.
call you right now.
All right, I'll
All
talk to you
right.
later.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm gonna get off of here, everybody. Thank you, Norman. If you're not subscribed to the Norman Nick show, please go check him out. He is amazing. We just want to come on here and that's not even everything, guys. We could go for days and days and days, but I'm sick as fuck. I don't have time for this shit. We shouldn't even have to be up here explaining because it is so crazy that it's unbelievable. But the proof is right there. This bitch trying to turn everything around. Oh, it's Terry. No, Terry does not, you know what I'm saying? She's not worried about you. She's not worried about, you're not close to anything. Then you're sitting there saying, oh, he's cleared. He's cleared. He's cleared. Bro, you're not the police. You are not police to be clearing anybody. Like, it's just weird. So this is the last time we are going to address anything. Are you done? We're not going to address anything. We're going to be the bigger people. We're going to do what we came here to do, and that is to bring awareness to Kyron. If you guys want the facts, you could stay in our group, because everything that we say, it comes from sources that would know, and it comes, you know, people that we can't name. I've spoken to Dee Dee's lawyer. I've spoken to, you know, I'm not even going to get into it. It just amazes me. It really pisses me off so bad. Every single thing that we say or Terry say, you guys twist it around. So I'm not going to stress myself, because we know it's BS. You know what I mean? We're going to keep doing what we're doing. If you guys are watching and you're not in our Kyron group, please join it. It is Kyron Horman Investigation. New, old, and ignored tips. Yeah. Help us. What, baby? All right. I got to go. I will see you guys hopefully in a couple of days. Hit the like button, subscribe, please share our videos. We're going to come up with more content. We're going to start being, you know, consistent like we were before. Thank you guys. Okay, baby.